Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to another SQL episode. In this episode, we'll cover aggregate functions, we'll learn how to use group by and having operators. Okay, let's get started. So first, let's start from the query we already know very well from the last video. So here we selected basically everything from our people table. We have all the columns, all the rows. And now let's put some analysis forward. So let's say that we would like to select all or an average cost of living that a person in our dataset has. So first off, what we would do is we would replace the asterisk here with a function. And now the functions is something that is slightly different in the DBMSs, but usually an average, and because we want to select an average, would be AVG. And you say AVG, open parenthesis, and say cost living, basically the column name. You say Control plus Enter, and here we have an average cost of living. Okay, so this was easy. Let's go back to all our results. Now let's say that we wanted to select the sum of our costs of living. So the costs of living for all the people we have here. We would do something very similar. We would just say sum cost living. And we have a sum of the cost of living for all the people here. So now, let's say that we wanted to select the minimum cost of living. Or let's maybe change cost of living to years of experience, right? So we want to select the minimum years of experience that a person has. So what we say is select min years experience. And we can see here the minimum years of experience is 1. We can very quickly verify if that's indeed true. I will write the query here once again. And we can see that the minimum years of experience in our dataset is indeed 1. The same way it would go with max. So the max is 15. There's our query. Let's check if it's true. And at the end, we can see 15 is the maximum here. So this is how the average, min, max, and sum functions work. Now, what is really useful here are the aliases we have learned. And you can also give an alias to such function expression. So you say select max years of experience as, for example, max years. And automatically it will have a nice column name and not like the max years of experience here. So it's very nice for the reports to always give here an alias. Okay, so this is the basic use of an aggregate function. Now, but this is useful at times. However, what, for example, we could do, or what we could want to do is, let's say we wanted to compare the cost of living in different countries. So let's say we wanted to say, okay, we wanted to know which country has the highest or lowest cost of living, or the highest average, lowest average cost of living. To do this, we need to use the group by clause. So I will remove everything here. And what you do is you do a select, and we'll complete that later from people. And here, what we want to select is you have to have at least one column here if you want to use the group by clause. So you say select, and then we wanted to select the average cost of living in every country. So we say country, and then we say average, so AVG, cost living. And if we just run this, basically what we get is an error that we do not have a single group function. Therefore, let's add it. So we need to say select country, average cost of living from people, and now we group by country. Right? And now we run it, and now we have an average cost of living for a country. I'll copy that, paste it right here. We can also do that with a min, right? So minimum cost of living. So basically it says that the person who has the lowest cost of living from Germany has the cost of living of 1,000, right? From Germany 1,000, Switzerland 500, Poland 2,000, USA 500. Not very realistic data, but okay, whatever. But what you also can do is you can put it right next to each other. So you can say average, minimum, and then you can say also a maximum, one in the same query. You hit Ctrl plus Enter, and here you get the average, you get the minimum, and you get the maximum, all in one set of results. Now, for now, we grouped only using one column, but you can also do that using more columns, no problem. So what you can also do is you can do a select country, and then here you can add, for example, our favorite color, and you have to remember that you have to add the favorite color also here to the group by clause. And now what you have is an average cost of living, a minimum cost of living, and a maximum cost of living for somebody who's from Germany and whose favorite color is green. And here for Switzerland and red, Poland black, USA blue, and so on. So this all works fantastic. But now we take into account the whole dataset. Let's currently try to understand what if we added a where clause now. So let's go back to our simplest example, select star from people once again, and let's try to set up an example, right? So let's, for example, calculate the average, let's say years experience. And now let's do a group by country. So select country. And here we will do a group by country also. So basically, we have already done that. We have an average years of experience for every country. And now let's say that we wanted to add a where clause. And that the order is important. You add a where clause before the group by clause. And this is something that already should suggest to you how the where clause will be executed together with the group by clause. So what happens if we now add a where clause? So where, for example, country is different than Germany. So what happens is Germany disappears. And this is because how the query is executed. So first, the whole data set is returned. Then the where clause is applied, so all the country where the Germany where the country is Germany are filtered out, and then the group by and the aggregation function here is applied. So I think we'll be able to see that if we just go back to this example where we select all the average years of experience, and now let's say that we want to add a where clause, where, and we'll filter for years experience, let's say higher than 5 only. So this should significantly increase our average years of experience, because now we are not calculating the average of all the rows, but we are calculating just the average where the years of experience is already higher than 5, right? I don't know, we are calculating the average years of experience for a senior or something like this. But now what if we wanted to apply it to an actual aggregated set of results? Let's go back maybe to our example, right? So let's here say a country, and then average years of experience, and from people, here group by country. So what if we wanted now to filter all the countries where the average years of experience is, I don't know, higher than, let's say 6. So what you might think you have to do is you have to say, go in here, let's say where, and then average years of experience is higher than 6. And whoops, you have an error. Now, some DBAMSs can process that, but usually they should not. So basically, what we have to do is we have to use the so-called having clause. And the difference between where and having is that having is applied after the results are aggregated. So here we remove this part, we rerun this query. And now you even by the way or the place where you write the having, it already suggests to you that it is executed afterwards. So basically what you say is select from people, group by country, and now you say having, and now you say average years experience is higher than 6. And you execute it, and you only get Germany and Poland, where the years of experience is 10 and 7.5, and you don't get, for example, USA, where it was lower. Now a similar result could be achieved using the sort of subqueries, but to this we will get in the later episodes. So once again, let's go back to our example. Favorite color with a favorite color, and then average years of experience and without the having clause. So let's recap what happens here, right? So first, the database will return all the results, and then it will start aggregating, right? So it will look for all the rows where country is equal to Germany and favorite color is equal to green. It will look for all the years of experience that the rows have, or the people have in this case, and then it will apply an average function and it will return this row. Then it will look for all the people from Switzerland whose favorite color is red and will apply an average function, and so on and so forth. This is why also we here have a unique Germany or a country favorite color combinations. Now what we didn't cover is something very, very useful in my opinion, and it is the count function. So basically the count function, you can specify here, for example, instead of an average or next to an average, let's maybe do it like this. You can say count, and then here you can usually, or not usually, but you can, for example, say star, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's execute this. What this will do currently is it will count the number of rows that was included in the combination here, right? So what this tells us is that we have 2 rows where the country is equal to Germany and the favorite color is equal to green. Let's maybe try to verify that. Let's select everything from people where country equals Germany, and favorite color is equal to green. We are expecting exactly 2 results or 2 rows here. And we can see that we have 2 rows, and we can also verify that the average function is working. Here the average years of experience should be 9. So let's go back here and we can see 9 and 2. So this gives us the number of rows basically. We could also write a column name here, no problem. Let's say, for example, ID. And for now, the results would not change. But what is the difference here is that if we did not have a value in one of these rows, essentially where ID would be null, and we'll get to what null means and doesn't mean when we will be talking about data types. So here what would happen is it would not be counted. Sometimes this is what you want. But if you just want to count the number of rows that was included in this group, you just say count star. And it will return you the number of rows that was included in the group. So this is it for today. We have learned how to use aggregation functions, so min, max, average, sum, and count functions. And we have also learned how to apply the group by, how to use a having clause, so basically how to filter out the results after they have been aggregated. And we also learned how the where clause is applied, right? And what's the order, that first all rows are returned, then the where clause is applied, and only then we have group by and then having at the very end to filter out the aggregated results. Okay, so this is it for this episode. I will see you in the next episode, where we will start taking a look at a very interesting topic of joins. But this is all for today. See you in the next episode.